Hey, social workers, welcome back to More Than Social Work with Nikki Sanders. And today we are going to talk about two things: 10 signs of a toxic workplace, but also signs of a fulfilling workplace. So listen to this. Self-care includes a letter of resignation from toxic workplaces, right? So here are 10 signs of a toxic workplace. Number 1, poor communication. Number 2, low staff motivation. Number 3, lack of trust and team cohesion. Number 4, illegal or immoral activities. Number 5, constant interruptions and distractions. Number 6, bullying, harassment, or blackmail. Number 7, inconsistent enforcement of policies and procedures, that favoritism. Unrealistic expectations is number 8. Number 9, chronic urgency of tasks. We know everything is not a crisis or an emergency. And number 10, staff are underpaid. Listen, we are no longer doing overworked, underpaid, and unappreciated. And I am passionate about this because this was my story. So I share this with you so it doesn't have to be your story. So here are 3 things that I knew. I stayed in a toxic workplace too long. And what made it toxic was a lot of different things. I loved my team. I loved the work. I loved our program participants. But there were so many things internally and externally that just made it a very toxic workplace for me. So don't let it get to this point for you, but here are 3 things that told me it was absolutely time to go. 1 is I started showing up late to my own meetings. I'm the director of programs. I'm setting the meetings and I'm showing up late. What does that say to my staff? What does that say to my team about my own lack of motivation, my own disconnection, right? I was not leading by example because I was showing up late to my own meetings and I was showing up with that disconnected energy. Number 2, I woke up one morning and I was actually sad. I was sad. I wasn't angry. I wasn't frustrated. I was sad. And honestly, I did not know what to do with those feelings of that sadness because they were new to me. And there were lots of things that made me sad about the work that we were doing. At one point, I said it felt like we were putting a Band-Aid on a bullet wound. And so I had to do something different for me and for my team once I recognized that feeling of sadness. Number 3, I sat on the parking lot for 2 hours, unable to go to work. Now this day I had gotten to work on time, but I couldn't make myself get out of the car. Please don't let that be you. Leave before it gets to that point. And so those 3 instances are just 3 examples of why I am extremely passionate about not just self-care, but self-love, self-care, and self-preservation. Those 3 things, just examples of why I'm extremely passionate about helping women of color, bugs out here, women in particular, but women of color definitely, go from being overworked and underpaid and unappreciated. The bug on my face? We're not recording. We're going to keep recording. All right. Go from being overworked, underpaid, and unappreciated, and experiencing professional burnout and compassion fatigue. Now, I've already said professional burnout is not a social work rite of passage. So there are things that we can do so we don't get to that place. And then the third is definitely why I had to say self-care includes a letter of resignation. For me, I needed to resign. There were not things that I could put in place in that space that would make it not a toxic workplace for me. So self-care for me included a letter of resignation because I had to ask myself why I was staying for them instead of leaving for me. I was staying for my team. I was staying for the staff. I was staying for the girls. But all of those things I had put above my own needs. And so I had to do that self-care thing and ask myself why I was staying for them instead of leaving for me. So sometimes self-care really does include a letter of resignation. And so again, we are going from overworked, underpaid, and unappreciated to doing work where we feel energized by the work. We are being well paid for our expertise, our experience, and our education. And we are being recognized and acknowledged for our contributions to a successful workplace. So here are 5 signs of a fulfilling job, right? Because career fulfillment is always our goal. So remember, career fulfillment is possible for you and available to you. So here are 5 signs of a fulfilling job. There's growth potential. You're not stuck and stagnant. After I got my MSW, I left the workplace because there was no place for me to go outside of my direct supervisor's job, and I didn't want her job anyway. Is there mentorship? Is there someone who is supporting you, helping you grow on your team, giving you connections, helping you recognize opportunities? Is there mentorship? Are there professional development opportunities? Do they provide training, continuing education? Again, one of the things for my team is I prioritize professional development. So they were definitely well trained, well equipped. And honestly, for that team that I said I really love that team, when they left, they all went into leadership positions and they were extremely ready for those leadership positions. Is there a healthy workplace culture, right? None of those 10 things that we talked about are part of the everyday culture. There needs to be a healthy workplace, a safe space, a space where the leaders care about the team and they care about the work and understand that having a solid team is important to having good work done. We are treating our team the way we want our team to treat our clients. And the 5th is, are we recognizing them for doing a great job? And that is more than a pizza party, right? So more than a pizza party. Recognition looks like a lot of different things, but is there recognition in the workplace? Sometimes recognition is an additional mental health day or a day off. Sometimes recognition is a bonus. Sometimes recognition is a raise or a salary increase. Recognition can be a certificate, or employee of the month. There are lots of different things, but please don't just decide to recognize your team by giving them food that they can pay for themselves. We're not doing that. And again, no more overworked, underpaid, and unappreciated. So if those 10 traits of a toxic workplace define the place that you're working now, it's time to go. Develop an exit strategy. If you need help with that, I'm willing to and able to help you do that. But develop your exit strategy if you are working in a toxic workplace, because the likelihood is it's going to change you before you can change it. It's going to change you in a negative way before you can change it. So you have to really weigh, do I want to stay here and try to change this place, usually from the inside out? So my advice again, and what I want you to know, is that sometimes self-care includes a letter of resignation versus sticking it out to see if you can make some changes. And if you're on an interview, or you're in a job interview process, and you see any of these red flags in the interview process, run in the other direction. Do not say yes to that social work job if you are seeing all these red flags on the job interview. It's absolutely not worth it. All right, this is Nikki Sanders with Nikki Sanders Leadership Consulting. I love social work, career development, professional development, organizational development. If I can help you, support you, you know how to reach out to me. Please leave me a comment if any of this resonates with you, or if you have any questions or concerns. Again, this is More Than Social Work with Nikki Sanders here on YouTube. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram at Nikki Sanders CEO, on LinkedIn at Nikki Sanders MSW, nikkisanders.com. All that's in the comments, but like, subscribe, share. Please let me know that this is something valuable for you and what else you want to hear on the More Than Social Work with Nikki Sanders YouTube channel. Let's strive for healthy workplaces. See you next video. Bye.